Hello everyone, good afternoon, how are y'all doing? Alright, so in this lesson today, I'm going to be covering the review for the English final. Okay, so everything that we have covered from January to February, which was lessons 9 and 10 in Unit 2, and all of Unit 3, lessons 11 through 15, will be on this final, and that includes everything from the vocabulary to the literary terminology to the spelling, as well as irregular verbs, irregular nouns, and things such as this, the VCV, VCCV, and VCCCV patterns. Okay, so let's get started with Unit 2, Lesson 9, which was the Storm Warriors story, right? So, in this specific story, we have 10 critical vocabulary words, as always. Alright, so while I write this down on this paper, just take a look at those 10 words. Try to think to yourself if you remember what they mean. Pause the video if you feel the need to. Alright, so repeat after me. These words are pronounced critical, demolished, elite, commotion, bundle, annoyance, secured, squalling, clammy, and realization. Right, so these words mean multiple different things. Right, so while I'm here writing the vocabulary, I want you to just take a look at this. I know it's a little bit difficult to see here, but you have Unit 9 here, Unit 10 here, and the 50 words from Unit 11 to 15 right there. Put it like that, actually. Just take a look at that. Zoom in if you need to. Or pause the video if you need to. So, first and foremost, in Lesson 9, what does the word critical mean? So something that is critical means something that is important. Okay? So you can say heart surgery is a critical aspect of running a functioning hospital. Or having a good team of engineers is a critical aspect of running a city properly. And number 2, demolish. Very easy. It just means destroy, nothing else. Elite means the best of a group of something. So I can say, out of this class of 30, these 5 students are the elite. They are the top scoring, most intelligent students. Commotion just means like a lot of noise. A word we use in English is ruckus. Like a lot of noise, a lot of disorganization being made. Bundle means when you wrap a blanket or cloth or fabric into like a ball, okay? Like a ball, like when you wrap a baby into a bundle by bundling him up in his nappies, in his clothes. Annoyance, you guys know, means to be bothered. Bothersome. Annoy is the verb, bother is the verb. Annoyance is the noun. Bother can also be a noun. Secured, right? Secure can mean multiple different things. It can mean that a place is safe. It can also mean that something is fixed in position and that it's not moving. Squalling. Squalling means noise. A lot of noise is being made. Clammy means that you have spent too much time in the water and your hands are getting raisiny, like your fingertips are getting raisin looking, and your body temperature is dropping. So just think of it as wet and low temperature. Realization. When you realize something, it means you figure it out. Okay, you come to a conclusion. Alright. Next lesson, lesson 10. Remember, lesson 10 is about the cougars. I want you to look carefully here. In the very last section, what are the scientific names for cougars' whiskers and sharp teeth? Okay? Now this will be on the final, so remember this. The whiskers are called vibrissae. Okay, that's the scientific term. The sharp teeth are called carnesal. Think of it like canine, like your canine teeth. Okay? Now, as for the vocabulary, that is this group right here. So, look at it, take some time. Feel free to pause the video if you feel the need to. Or zoom in. And once you're finished, just repeat the words after me. Okay? All right, number 1. Resemble. Resemble. Detecting. Keen. Very. Unobserved. Mature. It's neither a t or a d sound. It's more like a ch, almost like a ch, but softer, like ch, like future. So mature. Particular. Available. Ferocious. And contentment. Alright, so try to remember these words. And remember, while you're watching this video, please try to use your review sheets in conjunction with these videos. This is actually one of the review sheets I gave you originally, back in February. But the one I gave you is a little bit longer than the one I have here. It's been revised. So your review sheet has a little bit more information than this one I have here in front of me. Okay, so what does the word resemble mean? So for example, I, at the age of 15 years old, resemble my father when he was the same age, 15 years old. Alright, so it just means look like. So you can say children resemble their parents, daughters resemble their mothers, sons resemble their fathers. Okay, detecting. So that is the present continuous, the gerund. The root is detect. So you can say when the cougar is hunting, he will try to sneak up on his prey so they don't detect him until it's too late. Okay, so predators sneak up on their prey so they are not detected until it's too late. Does that make sense? So it means to be able to locate and spot and see. Alright, so here I'm going to show you what I've written so far. So, here I have the table, lesson 9, here, critical vocabulary. I've written a bunch of synonyms here. So remember, synonyms are words that have the same meaning, but these are very academic words, and I've used simplified vocabulary to give you the definition of these words. Alright? So, here we have also lesson 10, vocabulary, and I'm writing the synonyms there as well. Okay? Please try to understand this style which I'm using. Okay, so it's lesson 9 definitions, synonym. Sorry, lesson 9 vocabulary, synonyms. Lesson 10 vocabulary, synonyms. Alright, so we were in available. No, sorry, we were in detecting. We were using the word detecting. Right? So something that can be seen and located, like a predator. Keen. Something that is keen is sharp and accurate. My cat has a very keen sense of hearing. He can hear me even from several hundred meters away. Very. So very, like the word various, means many different things. So every time I go to the market, I enjoy it because the products on sale vary every day. Unobserved just means not observed. So the word observe means to look and see. So something that is unobserved, that's an adjective describing it, it means that it is not seen. Okay? Mature. You could say when cats mature at the age of 1 year old, they move away from their parents and go off on their own. So the word mature can be a verb or an adjective. So you can say, like I said, when cats mature, they move away. Or you can say, that is a very mature old man. This means he's a very disciplined, gentlemanly, not childish. Particular, that just means specific. You can say something like, I like milkshakes in general, but I like that one in particular. It just means specific, just you're choosing one out of a group. I like soda in general, but I particularly like Pepsi. Okay, available means able to be used, or free. Not free as in no cost, but free as in having the time to be seen or to be used. So let's say if you go into a office building and you ask to speak to the person in charge, the secretary can tell you, oh yes, that's fine, he's available at the moment. Or if you call somebody and the secretary may tell you, I'm sorry, sir, he's not available at the moment. Would you like to leave a message? I'll have him call you back as soon as he is available. Alright, next is ferocious. I know it's a bit of a difficult word to spell and pronounce. It's ferocious. So this just means violent and barbaric, savage, things like that. So this is usually used to describe the behavior of big cats like cougars in Lesson 10, Unit 2. So when the cougar hunts down its prey, it does so in a very ferocious manner. Last word is contentment. The word content is an adjective that means happy. The word contentment is a noun with the suffix ment added to it, which means happiness. Okay? So remember, in the English language, we have multiple different instances when the suffixes ment or ness or shun are used to make the root words into nouns. Okay? Now, that completes the vocabulary of lesson 2. Now, if we look here, we also have some other things I would like to cover. So I'm going to read it from top to bottom. English 1, Part 1 vocab, review the words and be able to fill in the blank and make a sentence. Lessons 9 and 10, review the following literary terms and be able to give the definitions of each. Okay, so these right here are the critical vocabulary. The spelling, these are the words I gave you every week and the ones we had a test on every Sunday. These are, for example, the VCCCV, the schwa words, as you can see. So remember, the schwa is the phonetic symbol. It looks like an upside down letter E, but the sound it makes is Alright, that's like the word bun, fun, sun. Okay? Alright, and for the literary terms, I have included this in your worksheet. So the word clarify, summarize, details, conclusion, predict, and infer. You need to be able to tell me what this means, okay? And comprehension, we'll go over that later. Alright, so for lessons 9 and 10, these words you need to know. So literary term number 1, clarify. So do you know what the word clear means? Clear means able to see perfectly. It can be used both figuratively and literally. So you could say, today the water in the river is very clear. I can see all the way to the bottom of the river floor, the river bed. But if you're using it in terms of teaching and learning and English comprehension, this just means to make something more clear, to have something explained very well, to make it more clear so the student can see the meaning, right? Summarize, that's the verb. The noun is summary. So the word summarize means to give a shortened version of a story that lists all the important points but leaves out all the unnecessary details. Okay? So, if I wanted to ask you to give me a summary of Lesson 9, Unit 2, Storm Warriors, what would you say? You would say something like, instead of giving me 20 minutes and 10 pages worth of explanation, just give me 10 sentences and a 30-second explanation. For example, Storm Warriors is about a group of men on the eastern coast of the United States. They are known as surfmen, and their job is to go out and rescue people when there have been shipwrecks. In this particular story, they go out and they see a ship that has hit some rocks on the coast, and one of the sailors has been injured in the head. And there's also a woman and her son there who require help from the surfmen. At the end of the story, the captain thanks the surfmen for their help. Okay, see, that is a very good example of a summary. Short, sweet, 30 seconds, 10 sentences, that's it. Alright, details. Details is just small pieces of information. And that's really it. It's just information. Conclusion means two things. So just the word conclusion by itself means the end of something. The end of a story, the end of an event. However, if you're using the verb conclude, or to come to a conclusion, that means you are using the information around you to make a guess, make an educated guess about what you think will happen. Okay? And that is very similar to the word predict. The word predict also means to make a guess about the future, what you think will happen at the end of a story based on the information that you have available. Okay? And last but not least, the word infer means to figure something out. Okay? Kind of like this word. Realization. Very similar to that word. When you make an inference, that's the noun, you are figuring something out also based on the information you have. Now, I understand that these three words are very confusing. Conclusion, predict, and infer, because they're very similar. So I'm going to help you out here. In the worksheet that you are going to receive next week on Monday, I believe, this is what you will have available. Okay? So, conclusion, it's right here. Something that happens at the end. A guess on what you think will happen. Okay? So the key word is at the end. Conclusion. Okay? At the end. But you also, if you make a conclusion or you're coming to a conclusion, you're guessing. Now, predict. When you make a prediction, that is to make an educated guess on what you think is going to happen in the future. The emphasis here is educated guess and future. It's always about the future. When you're predicting something, you're specifically guessing about an event that is going to take place later in time, in the future. And then you have the word infer, which is to figure something out. As I said, realization, to realize something. To make an inference means to come to realization. Now, this is a bit confusing because it says to come to a conclusion based on the context you have. Okay? So, infer. You have pieces of information, you have details, and then you make an inference and you figure it out. Alright? And as well here in these two bottom sections, this part here, and here, those last 9 words, those are the literary terms from Unit 3, from lessons 11 to 15. Okay? Those will also be on the test. So for this worksheet, I just want you to, as it says here, match the vocabulary word to its correct definition. Draw a line to connect them. So you would do something like that. Okay? Anyway. And then at the bottom you have vocabulary words, and then things relating to pronouns and irregular verbs and irregular nouns. Noun plurals and irregular past tense of verbs. Okay. Please study what object, subject, and possessive pronouns are. Alright, so now on to lesson 11. So you have all 50 of these vocabulary words. Okay, so this is going to take me some time, so all I want you to do is listen to the way I'm pronouncing them. You can repeat them if you want to. I'm only going to give you a very small amount of time though. So I'm going to try to get through this quickly. Alright, so just listen closely. These go in order from lesson 11 to lesson 15. Left to right, top to bottom. Starting there. Okay. Number 1. Embark. Surveyed. Conduct. Cramped. Bracing. Pressing. Distracted. Representatives. Viewpoint. Shattered. Rebellious. Objected. Benefit. Repeal. Contrary. Midst. Temporary. Advantages. Previously. Prohibit. Revolution. Strategy. foes, legendary, formal, gushed, plunged, magnificent, retreat, shimmering, provisions, dexterity, aspects, apprentice, influential, contributions, persuade, authorities, bondage, tentative, rural, tedious, lacked, personally, organize, mocking, efficient, summons, mimic, and last but not least, peel. Alright, so I'm going to give you a little hint to help you out. You do need to know all 70 of these vocabulary words, and you do need to know all 15 literary terms. So, on the final exam, of the 70 vocabulary words, you will have 20. Of the 15 vocabulary words, you will have all 15 of the literary terms, the literary terminology. All of these 15 will be on the final. But of these, only 20. Okay? Otherwise, it would have been too long, so I just had to make it as short as possible. Alright, so I did put them in some kind of order here. So these ones right here are from lesson 11. Okay? These are from lesson 12. These are from lesson 13. These two lines are from lesson 14. And this last line is from lesson 15. 15, okay? So, I'm going to go over the definitions of these very quickly. Because there's so many of them, I'm not going to write them down. But you have them on your review sheets. You have the meanings in your textbook. You have the way you can use them in a sentence in your textbook. And once again, we've already reviewed these in January and February. Although I understand that was a long time ago, so I do apologize for that. If you need me to make an additional video giving you the definitions of all of these in writing and using them all in a sentence in writing, please just send me a private message or an email or a comment, and I will upload an additional video for these 50 words if you want me to. Okay? Anybody who wants me to, please email me. Okay, question number 1. Sorry, vocabulary term number 1. Embark. That just means to go and set sail. Surveyed. That just means to conduct a survey. Like ask questions and collect information. Conduct, or conduct, it's going to be both a noun and the verb. Conduct, the noun, means behavior. Conduct, the verb, means to lead. To be in a leadership position over others and be the one in control. Bracing, that means just sticking to yourself and trying to prevent yourself from falling, like in a storm. Okay, like bracing to the ship. Next word, pressing. Pressing means important or currently happening, current affairs, current events. Distracted means to not have full attention, not full concentration. Right. Representative, somebody who represents another organization, somebody who acts on behalf of another. Viewpoint, just means point of view, opinion. Shattered, broken. My wrist is shattered, just means my wrist is broken. Rebellious means doesn't like to follow orders, likes to go against authority. Objected means disagree, Benefit means help. Like, going to college is going to benefit me. It's going to help me. Repeal means to get rid of, do away with. Contrary means the opposite. Like, contrary to what my friends think, I'm actually a pretty good bike rider. So, although my friends think I'm bad, on the contrary, I'm actually pretty good at riding a bike. Does that make sense? Midst just means in the middle of something. So, in the midst of the fight, somebody decided to call the police. Temporary means only for a little bit, not permanent, not forever. Advantage means you have some sort of superiority over others, or you have something about your life, like your parents or your money or your schooling, that puts you in a better position over others, that helps you out. Previously means before. Prohibit means to prevent somebody from doing something, to not allow something to happen, or to not give somebody permission to do something. Revolution, that is al-thawra, shoresh, right? It means to go against the government. Strategy just means like large scale thinking tactics. So just the way in which armies move to try to beat each other. Foes means enemies. Legendary means famous. Formal means official, like on paper. This is a formal school. It's not a fake school. Gushed means something is pouring out like a liquid. So you can say there was a hole in the hose and water was gushing out. Plunged means to fall or to push something into something else. So for example, when your toilet gets clogged, you use the plunger to plunge whatever is blocking the passage. Magnificent means amazing, incredible. Retreat means to run away. Shimmering means shining, something that's shiny. So you can see, say at nighttime, the shimmering of the bugs calms me down. Or I can barely see it, but it seems like 1 mile away there are some shimmering lights on that house. Okay, next one, provisions. Provisions just means food and water. Dexterity means flexibility. Aspects means parts. Apprentice means student. Like if you want to study under somebody else outside of school, you can say, I decided to join the police force and I became Sergeant John's apprentice for the first year. Influential means being an important person, having a lot of influence. Contributions means what somebody did to help a cause. So if you contribute, that means you are helping. The verb contribute means to put your input and help. Persuade means to try to convince somebody to change their opinion. Authorities means people in power. Bondage means slavery or servitude. So you can say these people are in bondage to the British Army. They are being forced to work for them. Tentative means it's in the process of being made, but it hasn't been officially completed yet. So, kind of like temporary. Okay, the word rural, I know it's a funny word to pronounce. Rural, it just means the opposite of urban. Urban means living in a big city with a lot of people. Rural means living out in the villages and the countryside with very few people around. Tedious means boring and repetitive and meticulous. Lect means something that is not there, something that is not had. Personally means it affected me as an individual. So if you're telling a story, but it's something that involves you, not other people, I'd say this is a personal story. I used to not really care about war until it personally involved me. Organized means to get together and communicate and work effectively. Mocking means to make fun of somebody, to laugh at somebody or something. Efficient means effective. It works well. It works correctly and does a good job. Summons means to be in servitude of another. So similar to the word bondage, but summons means like I'm going to be serving dinner later, so I will be summoned. Mimic means to copy, okay? To imitate. And last, peal. The word peal means noise. So you can say during the thunderstorm, the lightning would make a very loud peal. Alright, and we're almost finished here. I know this video is taking some time, but I gotta teach you some of these things. Alright, so what do the letters V and the letter C signify in all of these patterns? VV, VCB, so on and so forth. So remember, V means vowel. And the vowel is any letter that is made with your mouth open, the noise, like a, e, I, o, u. Okay, those are vowels. Now the C means consonant, so that just means any other letter in the English alphabet. Okay, so vowels are these. A, E, I, O, U. So, give me an example of a VV. Been. Seen. Look. Remember, these patterns are always just looking at the middle of the words. So, see? VV. Vowel, vowel. Vowel, vowel. Okay? Alright. What next? VCV. Vowel, consonant, vowel. Maybe a word like begin. Okay? Vowel, consonant, vowel. So what about VCCV? And while we're at it, let's put the VCCCV. So remember, this just means a vowel followed by two consonants and another vowel. For example, person. Right? So you have consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant. So V, C, C, V. Remember, these are always just looking at the middle of the word. V, C, 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 V. These are the most difficult. It's just three consonants in a row, sandwiched by two vowels on either side. So distract. Okay? Distract. Alright, try to think of some other examples if you can. You can see several of them right here in some of the vocabulary words that you have. For example, rural, that is a VCV. Tedious is also a VCV. Lacked is a VCCV. Alright? Apprentice. This part right here, although two of them are the same letter, it is a VCCCV pattern. Okay? formal. It is a VCCV. Okay? Those. It is a VVOE. Alright, I hope that was easy to understand. And last two questions I have here. What was the American Revolution mainly fought over? The British government overreaching their power and not allowing the people in the Americas to represent themselves in the parliament, and trying to steal too much of their money through taxes. Alright, and who was the king of the British Empire during this time? That is King George. Remember, King George ruled for 60 years, from 1760 to 1820. Okay? Very long reign. Anyway, that is all for now. I will be uploading this video on Monday, May the 18th. Sooner, give or take a few days. And if you have any questions, once again, please do not hesitate to send me an email or leave a comment, etc. Especially regarding these 50 vocabulary words. Okay? Anyway, I hope you all have a good day and stay safe. And I cannot wait to see you all again. Bye-bye.